Hi y'all, we're going to be talking about thinking outside the box today. Thinking of new ways to do old things and trying out new recipes totally.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a rut and you just don't want to eat anything because nothing sounds good. You've had it all before, you're bored, and that's when it's time to think outside the box and get some new inspiration from some unfamiliar places.
Maybe an old recipe, something that you got out of a new cookbook you got for Christmas that you put in the cabinet because you're not eating that kind of food anymore. But use it as a reference. Use it as a way to think outside the box.
Exactly. And speaking of thinking outside the box, we got a really delicious outside the box recipe for you today that you are going to absolutely love and enjoy. So stick around, see what we're up to.
Hi, we're back. Jen's going to be doing the cooking. I'm going to go put my feet up.
She's going to go rest, and I'm going to meet you at the stove in just a second.
And you do a good job because I'm hungry.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mama. Meet you at the stove. Hey! Okay, so I'm going to make you guys a really super easy, super delicious, it's kind of, I guess it's a stew. I'm calling this my green chili chicken stew. Some people like to call it a chili. I'm Texan, and I'm sorry, but chili's red and doesn't have no beans in it. So, but anyway, beside the point, this is a delicious and fairly simple and quick thing to do here. So, we're going to take our olive oil right there in the bottom of the pan. All right, and I've got 1 onion and 1 bell pepper and a can of green chilies. Okay, and that's what's in this bowl. And those green chilies, you're going to want to drain those. I'm just going to put those right there. All right, we're going to add a little salt because we want to make these tender. A little bit of black pepper because I can. All right. And those don't have to go too far because they're going to, just kind of as they cook, it's going to get more and more tender as it goes on. I've got 2 cloves of garlic here. If you want more, add more. I usually add more, but for the sake of argument, we're only using 2 today. My handy dandy garlic press. Okay, now once everything is kind of tender and combined, you're going to add your chicken. This particular chicken came from some friends of ours over at Texas County Line Farms, and they live really close to us. And so they do a lot of free-range poultry, and it's absolutely fantastic. And what we did is we just roasted this off, we peeled off the skin, and we shredded the chicken. There we go. Get down in there, Bubba. Okay, now I'm adding a cup of chicken stock. And you can use either canned or homemade, whichever you prefer. And I'm making a mess. Again, because I can. All right, and then we're going to add a can of green enchilada sauce. And that just really intensifies that green chili flavor that we're looking for. And it's really good. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to add, we are going to add a can of white beans. Now, you're going to notice I'm putting these in here just straight out of the can. Typically when I use canned beans, I drain them off and I give them a rinse. This time you actually want that starch because this is going to be your thickening agent without using any flour or cornstarch or anything like that. And that just goes right in there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, it seriously does not get much easier, simpler than that. So, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring that up to a boil right over here on, I'm going to put that probably on medium-high heat. bring it up to a boil. Then you're going to reduce the heat, pop a lid on there, and you're going to cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until it's all heated through and everything's just melded together beautifully. And then you're going to let it rest. It's important to let it rest for about 10 minutes so that it thickens up. And it is just beautiful and slightly spicy and just absolutely fantastic.
Smell garlic, onions. Oh my goodness, green chilies. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I am so hungry.
Yes, and it is such a good stew. And you know, that's a great one to make, because I know a lot of people, you get afraid to eat soups, especially because with lap bands and with the gastric bypass, a lot of times you can have a ballooning effect if you eat too much. And that's why doctors will tell you don't eat and drink at the same time, because that can help cause that. Well, they're also finding now too with sleevers that we can have the same problem in reverse with the bottom of our stomachs instead of the top. So it's a really good idea to try to avoid eating and drinking at the same time. That's why doctors tell you these things.
But soup is not drinking.
No, but some people do have a fear of soup because of that. And that is why this is such a great dish, because it's not a soup, it's a stew, so it's a little thicker. So I know a lot of people just eat the stuff out of it and then leave the broth, and you don't have to do this with this recipe. You can actually eat the whole thing and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, and since I had both surgeries, I've had the band and the sleeve, I understand the not drinking. But if I couldn't have eaten soups, I wouldn't have made it, because they're a staple around here. We have chili 3 times a week in the winter, and then we do stews, and so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
And it's a personal preference. It really is a personal preference. If you are convicted to stay away from it, by all means, you should stay away from it. And if you're not, then go for it. It's personal.
Well, the big thing is portion control.
Portion control is always the thing.
That's the key. If you're eating a half a cup of soup, whether it's broth or whether it's thickened or whether it's got vegetables floating in it, a half a cup of soup is a half a cup of soup.
Right.
You should be full.
It's true. So, well, speaking of portion sizes, how about we portion out that?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Right. We're going to show you what this looks like in just a second. Our stew is done, and it smells so good.
I'm ready.
We're going to share a bowl. Now, your serving is actually going to be about half a cup to a cup, depending on how much you can eat. We're using 1 scoop.
And this is an opportunity for me to talk about this. This is a baby spoon that my grandkids used. And frankly, I don't like eating out of a baby spoon. I found these beautiful little spoons at a kitchen store. And they are tapenade or appetizer. And along with that, I got some forks.
Oh, and those are just little shrimp forks, aren't they?
Yep.
Look at this sweet little knife.
Now, it won't cut much, but it makes you feel
but
better.
It's so cute. It makes you feel like a big kid.
Makes you feel like a big kid. And that
It's
you're
so
not
cute.
eating with baby dish. So get out and look for these things.
And you can find them, seriously, just go to a kitchen store and you're going to want to look for tapas or appetizer utensils.
And just go ask. Tell them your situation. A manager will look it up on their computer and just I made a quest out of it. It's fun. So I'm going to get into this.
I'm going to add a little cheese.
Oh, well.
I want some cheese.
Put a little drop on mine.
Here we go.
Drop.
And this is so good.
I'm going to spill.
I know.
Now that has got a lot of flavor. You remember when we were doing this yesterday, putting it together, and she said, it's missing something. And I said, put a can of green enchilada sauce in.
And it made it. And you know, the thing is about this and about other soups and stews as well, you can pre-make these before your surgery, and you can run them through a blender or a food processor, and you can have a full liquid meal that you can just go to at the drop of a hat while you're recovering from surgery. So, you know, that's what these are great for. And then, of course, as you heal along the way, they don't lose their deliciousness.
When something's good, you heal faster.
Yeah, that's true. And it makes you feel good on the inside, and it nourishes you. And the more you're nourished, the quicker you heal. And this also I gotta tell you, this was a step outside the box for me because I typically am not a green chili person. And I've always kind of shied away from the, the green chicken chilies that they'd have, or the white chicken chili, white bean chili, all of that. I just always shied away from them. And so this was kind of thinking outside the box for me. And I'm so glad that I did, because it is so good and it's so healthful and it's so nourishing and it's just fantastic.
Being here in Texas, we eat Tex-Mex or Southwestern style food all the time. Mm-hmm. And you go somewhere and they don't have the flavors that we have. And come home and man, this is good.
That's right. We're going to enjoy our stew. You guys, what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to look down below there and you see that little description. I want you to click that and I want you to go visit some of those links. We have our webpage there that's going to have this recipe and more. I also want you to visit our Facebook page, and don't forget to like and share our Facebook page, and then run over to our Facebook group and join our group so you can join in the fun discussions that are going on over there. And while you're at it, I want you to click the little like button that's up here somewhere on this screen. I want you to click that button because it helps us out and it helps out our channel so much. And then I want you, if you haven't already, please just click that little subscribe button, and that way you're not going to miss a single one of our episodes. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love y'all so much. You're awesome.
Come back and see what we're up to next.
That's right. See y'all later.